Police rushed to this northwest Jacksonville neighborhood, a report of a child shot in the head. Fortunately, it was not the tragedy that it could have been. Now, a family and their neighbors are calling for an end to the violence. Good evening, everyone. It was exactly 7 years ago today that an 11-year-old Jacksonville boy was killed by a stray bullet.
Last night, a 5-year-old boy who was in a home watching TV barely escaped the same fate. Thankfully, gunfire from outside the home caused just a minor wound. Police were called to Danville Avenue near Sutel Drive in Sherwood Forest at around 8 o'clock. We're told someone in the yard fired a shotgun blast, blowing out a window. One pellet grazed the child's head. Rescue rushed him to the hospital, where he was treated and released. There's no word right now who did the shooting or why. Channel 4's Ashley Townsend returned to that neighborhood today where people are raising their voices about this violence. Ashley?
That Northwest Jacksonville neighborhood that you mentioned has been the backdrop to gun violence before. Its latest victim, as you mentioned, a 5-year-old little boy. Now his neighbors and family members want this to stop.
This violence has to stop. You know, they are 100% thugs to me. You know, just walking up, just shooting in somebody's house. You talk about a 4-year-old child, it doesn't make any sense.
Laura Williams speaks out after her nephew, Joshua Griffin, age 5, who was shot in the head while sitting inside this Northwest Jacksonville home. Authorities say a single pellet grazed the young boy's head. Folks who live nearby are disturbed by this latest shooting.
It's awful. It's awful. And things like this happen every day.
And she's right. In 2005 and 2006, gunfire claimed the innocent lives of 11-year-old Damian Hughes, 13-year-old Rodarius Jackson, 13-year-old Shanice Holmes, and 8-year-old Rashana Davis. Fortunately, little Joshua is doing okay, expected to make a full recovery. Chief Hackney with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says Tuesday night's shooting could have been far more tragic.
This is a very serious case. Obviously, a 4-year-old child was shot in the head. We have very little information to go on. We have canvassed the neighborhood and have not found any witnesses to this crime. Only 2 folks who heard a shot. We could easily be out here working a murder right now. Only by the grace of God are we out here and not working a murder, but working just to aggravate a battery to a child.
Channel 4 crime and safety analyst Ken Jefferson says quick action by the family may have spared young Joshua's life.
At the first sound of gunfire, you want to make sure that everyone in the house knows to hit the floor.
For Laura Williams and her family, enough is enough.
The gun violence has to stop. You know, especially, you know, when all this had happened in Connecticut and then it hits home, it has to stop. It has to stop.
Very emotional sound there from the little boy's aunt. You heard just a moment ago Chief Tom Hackney saying that they have very little information to go on. No eyewitnesses, no people thus far coming forward. If you have any information at all, if you heard anything, if you saw anything, you are encouraged to call Crime Stoppers, where you can remain anonymous. That number is 1-866-845-TIPS. We are live at JSO. Ashley Townsend, Channel 4, the local station.
Ashley, what about that neighborhood? Have there been other crimes in the area?
Mary, there have actually a few houses down. It was 2 or 3 houses down from where the shooting took place last night. 50-year-old Larry Gibbs, back in September of this year, he was riding his bike and he was shot and killed just like the shooting last night. Both of those shootings at this hour remain unsolved.